Well, good evening, everybody. I say good evening because I am speaking from Italy. And so here it's pretty late. It's 11 p.m. And but I'm here with you, and I'm very happy to be able to speak on this beautiful network. And I would like to thank Ruth Anderson for having invited me to have my program. My program is called Syl Ver Reflections, and uh, actually, this is a title that was decided by myself, but with the help of Ruth, because at the beginning I had thought about conversations, but actually, reflections is so much better. And my aim with my programs is to share with you a broad range of subjects, but all based on sound scientific evidence, because now we have scientific evidence that for many of the things that have been known for thousands of years, but people had to believe in them without any real scientific evidence. But now, many things that have been taught over the years can be proven scientifically, which is really fascinating. And I love science. I work with a lot of neuroscientists and a lot of psychologists, psychiatrists, therapists of different kinds from different backgrounds. And it's really very interesting to see what has happened in the field of medicine, especially in the field of brain science, because brain remained just the last frontier for medicine. Now with MRI, functional MRI, it is really possible to explore the brain and to really understand what is happening. And many theories that were postulated in the past by different scientists, even by Freud, have been tested with respect to neuroscience, and many theories have been proven right. Others have not been proven right. So there were ingenious theories at that time, but they did not stand the test of scientific evidence. And so things are changing fast in this field, and a lot of research is being carried out in the field of neuroscience, but also in the field of genetics, epigenetics, and then so it's really fascinating to talk about all these issues and how this scientific evidence can help us really have faith and really believe in what we are doing. Whatever we do, meditations, visualizations, whether we work as healers or whether we are light workers or we're just curious about all these subjects. And now we have also the possibility of actually seeing some other dimensions through orbs. Together with Ruth, we had two programs devoted to orbs, which are these lights that come out in photographs and which show that around us there are different beings, and we are never alone. So it is actually possible today to see them with our eyes. And tonight I would like to talk about one particular subject I love very much, which is vision. So vision is actually a body function that we have. So through vision, we actually are able to see. And to see with our eyes. So the type of vision that we're used to. So whether you see something or you do not see something, but actually vision is something much broader than that, because we can see with our eyes, but it's possible to see with our third eye, with what we call the eye of the mind. We can actually see through visualizations, through daydreaming, through dreams, and we can also see through perception, in the sense that even bodily perceptions may be also seen as um, a function of vision, in the sense that you are able to feel and then to imagine in our minds that something is there or that something is happening. And whatever we imagine or think with our minds, this thing will exist in our reality, in the quantum field. And this has been proven by science by a very interesting experiment that I saw. Because in fact, our brain does not make any difference whether you are actually doing something or imagining you are doing something. For example, in one experiment I saw, a patient was asked to grab an object, and the patient was being recorded through functional MRI. And so the gesture of getting an object with a hand triggered different kinds of reactions in the brain, with the activation of certain pathways, the activation of certain areas of the brain. And then the same person was asked to imagine, grabbing the object, but without moving. And the activity in the brain was exactly the same. So we actually do not make, our brains do not make any difference between reality and imagination. And this is so powerful, because this shows that what we imagine with our minds, what we imagine through our thoughts, has an impact on reality. It is a reality for us. So whatever we believe in exists in our reality. So if we have a positive approach to life, a positive thinking, and we believe in ourselves, we have good self-esteem, our world will, react positively towards us. We can say the universe will respond exactly as we think. But if we are instead used to having a negative approach, a negative attitude to our lives, we have low self-esteem, we have negative thoughts, or we do not believe in ourselves or in other people, this is what will be reflected by the universe in our reality. But the fact that our minds and our thoughts and our vision is so powerful, we can actually change the reality around us. We can do that in many different ways. We can do that through visualizations. We can do that through intention. We can do that through prayer or through meditation. It doesn't matter. But we can actually change our reality with the simple vision that we have in our minds, in our thoughts, in our eyes, and in our hearts, because even the heart is able to see. And the seeing with the heart is very interesting, because the heart is able to feel and see in a much broader way with respect to our brain. In fact, according to some studies, the electromagnetic field of the heart is so large, much larger than that of the brain. And so through our hearts, we can really have a major impact on our reality. And many people say that we should choose with our hearts rather than with our reason, with our minds. But I think the best thing to do is to have both mind and heart in coherence. So we will be able to have more empowerment in our decision making and more intuition. And we can obtain brain-heart coherence through specific meditation that I learned some years ago, which helps people have this kind of coherence and compliance between consistency between the brain and the heart. So they actually work together and they do not work one against the other, as may happen when you have a conflict. Conflicts arise exactly because there may be a different way of feeling through the heart and a different way of thinking through the mind or through the thoughts. And so it's very important to have an agreement between these two powerful organs, which can help us connect with a very much a very incredible reality around us, which is the quantum field, where anything is possible. So we are much more powerful than we think, and we are able to really change the matter around us in terms of vibration. Sorry for my voice. In terms of frequency, in terms of expansion, in terms of knowledge and vision. That is why vision is very dear to me. I'm actually a very vision-based person. For example, I always remember faces. I'm very bad with names. I'm always jealous, especially with the people from America who are so good at remembering names. I'm so bad. And every time, people stop me and say, "Oh, hi, how are you?" And I know, I am aware that I know that person well, but I never remember the name unless the person is very close to me. So I'm very bad. But I always remember seeing objects, or for example, the last time I saw something that went missing in the house, I remember seeing that thing somewhere. So I'm a very visual person. And for me, in fact, it was only through visualizations that I was able to meditate. When I started meditation, I started with transcendental meditation and with no visualizations. And for me, this was very, very difficult, actually impossible. Instead, when I started learning how to meditate through visualizations, my whole world changed, because for me, meditation has become like watching films. So I actually create my own narrative, I create my own story. And so through intention, intention that I have every single day, so I give an intention to my day, I can change the narrative of every single day. So if I may, for example, decide one day that I want and I wish to be very creative and very imaginative in finding solutions to any problem that may arise during the day. And so I set a tone for the day. I create a narrative for that particular day. So it's like a script for the film of the day. And so I am going to live by that script. So every time I see that I have to solve something, I just remember that intention of the day is to be creative. And so naturally, I am inclined to be more creative. And or I may, for example, have the intention of living according to the greatest version of myself. So trying always to use my higher wisdom, my higher self in any action or any decision I have to make. And this is exactly what happens. So we can actually change the narratives of our lives, whatever the condition. This is not a special gift. This is something that anybody can do, because we are all very powerful, and we can really change our realities for the better. Some people change realities for the worse through their intention. This is what happens when people curse situations or other people. These negative energies have a major impact in their own lives, and in also the lives of people who do not how to protect themselves. One of the intentions I have every single day is protection. So I always ask to be protected. to be protected from any discordant energy or any energy that I do not actually need. So I imagine myself being protected by this wonderful blue light coming from Archangel Michael. I am very close to Archangel Michael, so I call him all the time for protection, for support, for advice, for fighting, because he is actually a warrior. And once I give my intention of being protected, I actually feel protected for the whole day. So I'm less fearful. I feel more confident. While I'm driving my car, I always ask for protection for my car, for people in the streets, for animals, or for other drivers. You know, driving in Rome is like crazy. So it's better to be protected, because here anything can happen every single day. So being protected while I'm driving is one of the priorities of my life. But we can do whatever we like. We can really change our life into a fairy tale. So people say, oh, fairy tales do not exist. There is no happy ending. You know, things are so difficult, so tough. It is true that we have challenges. We all have challenges. Even the most enlightened and the most advanced people have to face a lot of challenges. And I even believe that the greater the light, the greater the challenge. Because of course we have to solve some issues we have. So if we have to deal with a major issue, of course we need a lot of courage, we need a lot of light, and I'm sure that we are given the challenges that we can actually take up and through which we can shine. I think that we have the capabilities of doing that. I think we have come to Earth for this reason, for learning and for shining through our challenges. This expression was actually channeled to me through Archangel Metatron. I was actually dealing with a very, very difficult business situation. And so I was meditating a lot on this situation, trying to shed light on the people around the situation, on myself, asking for high-level advice, whatever. So I was always meditating and praying about the situation. And one day I was meditating with Archangel Metatron, and he just said to me, you know what? He said, why don't you shine through your challenges? And this expression was so true, in the sense that sometimes challenges seem to be very solid. So like a hard piece of rock, maybe huge mountains to climb, but they can be clear and transparent. We can actually see through the challenges and maybe shine through them with our light. And so since I've had that piece of advice, which is wonderful, I have tried to see through my challenges and to see them not as something impenetrable, but something that can actually be dealt with ease and grace. This is another thing I always ask for. Is ease and grace in doing whatever I do every day, because sometimes we believe that life is to always be hard and incredibly difficult, or that when we work we have to work so hard to obtain even little results. I was that way. I was actually brought up as, you know, workaholic in my family. You know, work was just considered to be the right thing to do. You had to go to school, be very good at school, and I needed to have good marks, and always trying to be the best. This was the kind of upbringing I had in my family. So being very good at school was the priority number one. And then, of course, after school, there was university. So it was exactly the same. And then after university, there is work. So in my family, there was only work, 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 work. And you had to be, number one. And, so very strict, very goal oriented, no fuss about things. So for me, work was really, working hard, and then no pain, no gain. This was the kind of narrative in my family. But in the end, this was having really a bad impact on my health. So I tried to find a way to go on working, because I still work very hard, but I always ask to do everything with ease and grace. So, because we can actually work hard, even if we do this smoothly, like dancing, ballet dancers. I was a ballet dancer. I was trained as a ballet dancer. So I know you have to spend hours and hours and hours training, for example, at the bar, and, hours. So it's hard work. So people believe that, oh, you see those, beautiful dancers moving. Oh, how easy it is. No, it's just hard work. And however, when you see them dancing, you see only grace, and you see ease, because they now know the techniques so well that they can do this with ease and grace. So we can do exactly the same in our daily lives. So whatever our challenges, whatever our working hours, whatever the task we have to fulfill, it doesn't matter. If we ask for grace and ease, I think we will be able to obtain that possibility. So this is something I always ask for myself, because I know that otherwise I will be there just, toiling and without any respite. And in the end, I'm going to be completely deprived of energy. But instead, with ease and grace, I can perform better, and I have a higher level of energy. And I love even visualizing myself working, dancing. I can actually dance, mentally through my work. So this is the narrative I create for myself every single day. And this can be done easily with grace every morning, just with 5 minutes of meditation. And we just can ask, and then we set the tone for the day. We can do the same in the evening. When we want to go to bed, if we want to be clean, for example, especially light workers and people who are very sensitive to other people's energies, we should always ask to be cleared from any cords that may have attached to our energy during the day. We may not even be aware of what has happened during the day. So it's like taking a shower, and I always ask Archangel Michael to remove any cords that may have attached to my energy. And so I can go to bed relaxed, completely full of my own energy, and whole. So that I also ask to have, very deep and refreshing sleep, so I can wake up in the morning full of energy. Or for example, you may ask to have a lot of energy during the day if you need more energy because you have something specific to do. So there's so many things we can ask for in order to create our own narrative. And the narrative is whatever you choose. It's up to us to have a happy ending or a negative ending. Why not, for example, choose the happy ending first and then create a narrative going backwards, as some people do when they create series. They know the beginning, they know the end, they know where they want to go, and then they create the episodes just in between. We may do exactly the same. Why not choosing a happy ending? Why not choosing that, for example, during the day, we are going to be the best, the best of ourselves. We are going to act gracefully, or we may ask to be kind to anybody and smile, and so that people smile back at us. And there are so many things we can do, and we can experiment with different tools and techniques, very easy tools and techniques to use, just to change the story we tell ourselves and that we tell about ourselves, because this is important. I think exploring the story we tell about ourselves is really interesting. I think writing down the story that we tell about ourselves is so interesting, because many people, I was one of them for a long time, tell horrible stories, horrific stories about themselves, about the fact that we are never enough, that we will never make it, that we're not gifted, and that we're not intelligent enough, and we're not beautiful enough, or whatever. And our bodies are not what we would like them to be, or hair, or women have lots of issues about that. And so I think it's interesting to look at these stories that we tell about ourselves. And I think we can change those stories. We can change the narrative. We can start having more love for ourselves, more self esteem. We can become more grounded, and we can become more content about who we really are, because who we really are is so far greater than anything we can think of. I think we have so much potential that is a tragedy that children are not taught how to really capitalize on their real potential. The fact of being able to learn with ease and grace, the fact of being multidimensional creatures with lots and lots of capabilities, and how to teach children to be kind, and to be loving, and to receive, to be confident about themselves. I think this is so important, but unfortunately, this is not the way we are brought up. Most of us, there are a happy few who've had very enlightened families, but most of us have not been brought up in this way. Um, Probably the kind of upbringing many people had was strict, and was that life is difficult, I have to work hard, so no pain, no gain, there is no free lunch, or whatever story you tell yourself. And so our lives become very arid and dry and very difficult, of course. So why not changing our worlds through fairy tales? I love fairies. I have to say that I think I belong at a soul level to the realm of elementals, because I feel really at home when I am in nature. So I can feel the energy of trees. I can relate to animals maybe better than humans, and especially cats and horses. And but I love nature, flowers. I love watching the sun, whatever, the sea. And so I feel myself at home where when I am in nature. So I've never seen a fairy tale, but I can tell that nature is full of these beautiful, beautiful creatures. And sometimes I'm able to see them through orbs. When I snap pictures in nature, different kinds of orbs come out, different colors. I'm sure different entities. Some of them for me are angels, others are elementals, but who knows? Um, there may be other kinds of creatures we've never heard of. And it isn't this fascinating. And and going back to vision, I think many people who come to me to learn how to connect with angels or how to meditate, most of them ask me if they can be taught to see angels with their eyes, and which is a perfectly normal wish. Um, but it's not something that happens so frequently. There are clairvoyant people who are able to see with our eyes, but we can develop other, um, skills, other functions, such as seeing through our third eye, or seeing with the eye of the mind, or seeing through our senses, seeing through our hearts, perceiving, which is exactly the same thing. So many people are very disappointed when I tell them the truth that probably they will never see one of these creatures with their eyes, but they can actually use their inner vision to see them. And when they learn how to do it, they don't care if they don't see them with their eyes. Maybe one day they will. Who knows? This happened to me just once. I was very surprised because I had not asked for that kind of gift. It was really a gift. And but I was already a believer in those realms, in the realm of angels, or not because I had seen them. I had never seen them, but I knew that these beings lived around me because I could perceive them with my senses. I could actually visualize them, and so for me, they were real. They were real creatures. They were real beings. So, and the first time I saw one, I said, "Wow, oh, this is real evidence that they do exist." Because um, I see them, but I knew they existed even before I had seen them. And it was not very. What I saw was not very different for what I perceived, because I just saw an anthropomorphic being of light, no wings, very close to a person. And this was just something that happened by chance. And it never happened again. But I never asked for that. And it doesn't matter. So when people learn how to perceive these dimensions with their other senses, with their third eye, through visualizations, their reality changes, and they don't care whether they will not be able to see an angel during this lifetime. It doesn't matter. Probably it doesn't. And it's interesting, of course, to listen to people who see these creatures with their eyes, but their descriptions are not so different for what people may perceive through other means. So, or through, for example, photographs with orbs. Ruth and I have created a Facebook page, um, and where you can actually post these beautiful photos if you have them, and we can help you interpret them, because the message is always very personal. The message doesn't have to be anything so complicated. It may be just, "Hi, we're here with you, you're never alone, and we love you," whatever. Other messages may be more, long and specific. I posted a photo, for example, of Archangel Michael, a small statue of Archangel Michael fighting against evil forces. And there is a very, very tiny violet orb just below the evil entity that is being chased by Archangel Michael. And the message for me was so clear at that time that I was struggling with a very difficult situation. And the message was, "Look, here I am, helping you, dispelling these dark forces, and Archangel Zadkiel is transmuting them for you." And I said, "Wow, what a beautiful message." Because the violet flame is the flame of Archangel Zadkiel and the angels of the violet flame. And they are able to alchemize any kind of energy for us. And Archangel Michael is the warrior angel chasing away any discordant energy or any energy we do not want to have in our lives. So this was so clear, but I could see that on a photo because I had this little orb of the violet flame. And so this message was very clear to me. And but the image may evoke or convey another message for you. So whoever looks at an image of an orb will have an intuition, an idea, or a feeling or a sensation. Goosebumps, for example, goosebumps are very, very significant. And they are a good sign that you are feeling something. You can have, positive good goosebumps when you have a nice sensation, when you feel the angels around you, or you may have goosebumps because you're scared. But I am talking about good goosebumps that you have when you have these very positive and wonderful sensations of these beings around you. And you can actually feel them with your skin. Sometimes in meditations, I feel being touched by these beings, and their touch is so different from anything that we can call touch in our human life. Their touch is different, and it is so weird. The first time it happened to me, I was really startled because I knew this was not a fruit of my mind, because I actually felt it on my body very clearly. And this touch was different from any kind of touch I had experienced in my life. And so I was very still and I asked, this is a touch of, light beings or angels? And the answer was yes. And the answer was so nice and full of love. And yes, this is a touch of love. And this is the right expression. It is a touch of love. So we can experience the world of energies in so many different ways. And I think many experiences are so personal and they cannot be replicated for other people. So when I teach energy work, because I consider myself to be an angel interpreter, but also an energy coach, I always teach people to develop their own method, their own approach, their own system, what resonates for them, what can be replicated for them, and what can be done with ease and grace. Because, for example, for me, transcendental meditation is very hard, almost impossible, because I am a person who needs to visualize something to meditate. I can meditate in nature, walking, but I actually watch around. I watch something and, beauty, when I see the beauty of nature, for me, that is already a kind of meditation. Another intention I frequently ask is to see beauty through my eyes. So to focus my sight on beauty, because beauty has this specific quality of having very high frequency and very high vibration. So whenever you see a beautiful thing, painting, a statue, a tree, a sunset, sunrise, whatever, you raise your vibration. So I always ask that I can focus my sight on beauty, because there is so much beauty around, even in places where this is not so clear. There are so many ugly things around. We all know that, especially in large cities, especially Rome now, which is very badly administered by crazy people. And so we have, for example, a major problem of waste accumulating in the streets, which is so bad. But in any case, even if there are many problems, if I as to focus on beauty, this is what will happen to me during the day. My eyes will go to beautiful things, trees that line the streets, a beautiful woman walking by, a beautiful dog, nice clothes that I might see in the window of the shop, the beautiful ice cream, or it can be anything, anything. There is so much beauty around us, and we can actually, uh, thrive through that kind of beauty. And I'm very lucky because living in Rome, I have so much beauty. And in any church I go into, monuments, statues, paintings, fountains. So there is an abundance of beauty, but especially nature. Nature is for me a source of love, beauty, and balance. That's another thing, balance. When there is harmony, when the energy is fully in harmony, that is beauty. And there is no doubt about it. So we can set an intention for our vision to be expanded on everything that has positive energy and high frequency and beauty. So why not, jumping into this wonderful narrative, and why not, having fun? For me, it's really fun. I mean, it's like just living in a film in which I'm the protagonist, and I can, create a cast I want. I have many other characters in my narrative. I may call upon angels, and they can be co-protagonists with me, or I can call upon other beings of light, maybe beings I've never, you know, known, or celestial beings. I love thinking that there are thousands or millions or billions of celestial beings just ready to help. Maybe councils, advisors, healers. Uh, Sometimes I love that expression. I was reading a book by a clairvoyant, and she said that there are millions of unemployed angels. Oh, I love. So whenever I need really a lot of support, I say, "Oh, come on, guys, I have some job for you. Just come over and work for me." And so I have this huge number of unemployed angels helping me. Isn't this beautiful? So we can, summon whoever we want, provided that we are summoning the beings of light. Always, asking for, beings who can share love, kindness, and beauty with us. Why not? So if we ask, we will obtain. So we can actually change our films and, change our days for the better. So that is why I wanted to talk about vision, because vision is so much broader than what we think, and than what we are taught. So we can see with our eyes, but we can especially see with our hearts. And with this, I would like to say goodbye to you. And next time I will talk about another subject. But if you want to contact me, I have a Facebook page, and why don't you reach me at Syl Ver 2019 and get in touch with me, and so we can, analyze all these topics in greater depth if you need that. And I am ready to help, and I'm ready to share many things with you. So it was really a pleasure to have this program on this network. And I hope that you will follow me in 2 weeks' times, because I will have 2 programs a month, always on Tuesday night for me, and maybe afternoon for you in America. I actually don't know what time it is in Australia, but I want to seize the opportunity. I'm talking about Australia, to really thank Anaya Joy O'Lily, because she was the one who encouraged me to speak about my knowledge. And in fact, I have a program on Angel Heart Radio. And she was the one who really gave me the courage to speak up. And so I am really grateful to her. And I also would like to thank Ruth Anderson for inviting me. And I thank all of you. And I say in Italian, ciao to everybody.